So for my demo video 2, I'm going to be starting out with describing and demonstrating what three-point editing is. So for three-point editing, we basically have a clip up here in the top left corner, and 3 points is basically exactly what it sounds like. You're going to create 3 points within the clip in your timeline. So we're going to do, we'll do an in point right here. This would be the first point, and then we'll do an out clip. We'll do it out right here. So this is 1 point, 2 point, and then if we want it, we could do another an out point. We can do an out point right here, and then this will be 3-point editing. So now we will have, instead of inserting this whole 13-second clip, we have an in point and an out point. So that way, only this portion of the clip will be entered. And then, over here, this is exactly, so now we only have this little portion of the clip rather than the whole 13 seconds of the clip. And that's what 3-point editing is. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is fit to fill, why it's necessary, and I will show you how to do it. So basically, fit to fill is where you would be, so this is an example of like 4-point editing. This is my destination area, so this is my in point and my out point. This is the length of the clip that I want to be inserted into this destination area. So, but if I click over right here, you would see it says the source is shorter than the destination. That means this clip, if I were, like, this clip is shorter than where I want to put it on the timeline. So and then once I insert it into my destination area, fit to fill basically means it'll change the speed of the clip in order to fill the destination of where I want it to go. So if I click here, change clip speed, fit to fill, and I hit OK, as you can see, it upped the speed 20.22% in order to fill the destination area of where I wanted this clip to go. And then next we're going to talk about how to nest a sequence and why it might be helpful when you're working on a project. So nesting a sequence, basically you would go to this little icon right here to select a new item. You would go sequence, and I'm just going to name it nested sequence. And then as you can see, it created a new timeline for me, as well as it added a new like media port right here. So then we're just going to drag some clips. We'll do keep existing settings. We'll drag some whatever clips, doesn't matter. So we'll have 3 clips, and then instead of copying and pasting all of your clips in order to insert it over here, which is an option you could do, but if you're working on a project that has multiple clips, it can become tedious in order to do that. And now if you do that, so now as you can see, it's saved on their nested sequence. So what you could do is you could go over to your other project, hit nested sequence, and then slide it over, and then as you can see, it's now its own media. So now when you go over here, now this is basically all of this nested sequence is this right here. So this is helpful if you're working on a project and you don't want to copy and paste over 50 clips. You can just do a nested sequence and just enter it right here, just like this. Now we're going to be talking about what a ripple edit is and how to do it. So ripple edit is basically it changes, like it alters the ins and out points of a clip, and then it changes the duration of a clip. So in order to do that, we'll go over here. And this will be, as you can see, it says Ripple Edit Tool. You can also hit B for that. So you'll click that, and then you want to go to the end of a clip that you want to do this to. And then if you drag it here, you can see it's changing the out point or the end of the clip. As well as if you do it here, it's also changing the in and out points if you wanted to drag it this way. As you can see, it altered the duration of the clip, and that is what ripple editing is. We're going to be talking about what a roll edit is and how to do that. A roll edit is basically you're editing 2 adjacent clips simultaneously. So your roll, if you hold this right here, you'll be able to go back and forth between ripple and roll. And one important thing here is to make sure your snapping is turned off. So in order to do that, we'll go to roll. As you can see, we now have roll editing selected, and it'll change your ins and out points of the 2 adjacent clips simultaneously. So this is good if you want to do match editing. This will make it a lot easier if you're using this tool. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is a slip edit, and that changes the ins and out points of a clip without changing the duration of the actual clip. So if your clip is 3 seconds and you use the slip tool, it'll just change the ins and out points of this, so that way if you need a clip to be exactly 3 seconds, you can change the in and out point without actually changing the duration of the clip. So in order to do that, you'll go to the slip tool right here. If you click that, we'll go to this clip right here. As you can see, as I'm sliding it, it's changing the ins and out points simultaneously of one clip without actually changing the duration of the clip. Next, we're going to be talking about time remapping and ramping and why it might be necessary. So time remapping is basically just changing the speed, or like adjusting the speed of one particular section of the clip without changing the speed of the whole entire clip. So this would be necessary if something happens in a clip and you want to highlight it or you want to dramatize that particular portion of the clip. So in order to do that, the best way to do that is you want to go here and you want to adjust your track size, so that way you can see more and it's easier to work with that way. So next we're going to go to, so for this clip, she crosses her legs right here. Now she does this really slowly, as you can see, but I want to dramatize that, or I just want to speed up her legs crossing, so that way I can show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to stop it right here, and then I want to go to, you want to hit this little FX, and then you want to go time remapping and speed. And then so this is where I want it at. So I'm going to grab my pen tool and I'm going to click it right here, so that way that's where it starts. And I'm going to drag it, and then I want to stop the speed right here. So I'm going to mark it right there as well. And then I could also drag this out so I can see more of what I'm working with. And so that is time remapping. And for ramping, or no, this is time remapping. So I'm going to, if you speed it up, it's going to go much faster, and if you bring it down, it's going to bring down the speed. So let's say I want to speed it up by almost 200%, okay? So now it's going to play, and then when it hits that part, her legs go over much faster than the original clip. Now, as you can see here, this was abrupt. It happened really quickly. So what ramping will do is if you drag it here, this will adjust on how long it takes for the speed to go up. So if I ramp it right here, and the same thing with this one, if I ramp it to go down, this will it's slowly speeding up, speeds up completely, and then it slowly goes back to the original speed. So that is time remapping and ramping. Next, we're going to be talking about adjustment layers and why it might be necessary, and as well as how to create one. So an adjustment layer is basically an overlapping layer that goes onto the track above your clips, and that layer basically holds any effects that you want to be placed onto the clip without having to copy and paste that effect on every single clip that you want it on. So in order to do that, we'll go up to File, and then actually let me go to File, New,